Okay, so what we're going to look at quickly today is a sort of essential version of I find that quite an easy piece of graphic software for beginners, semi-beginners, Photoshop, even GIMP. It can be a little bit overwhelming. I find this one a little easier to get to grips with. And like all things, I mean, you can see there's a lot going on in this interface. Do not panic. In order to do what we need to do today, which is create our own little digital badges for our learning management system, we only need a tiny number of these tools and options. We're going to keep it fairly streamlined, fairly basic. What I have been doing, I've been sort of messing about, making there's another one, little digital badges. Oh, aesthetically speaking, none of them are exactly masterpieces, but they do the trick. You know, they're kind of rosette shaped. Um, um, they are personalized in that. I mean, that's the whole point of doing it. It's just the point is that sometimes for your LMS, the kind of badge you want to use, it might not. You might not be able to find it easily on the internet. You might need a sort of personalized version. You want a very specific name for it. You might have a color theme going through your course that you wanted to keep, an image that you wanted to include, which gives a kind of aesthetic consistency across your course. Aesthetics are important too, you know. And you can end up going absolutely crazy trying to find things on the internet exactly as you want them. Plus, licenses. Not everything is free. It is not a free for all, although it may appear that way sometimes. But a lot of the images, the vast majority of images and other resources that are on the internet actually belong to somebody. So, in order not to have any problems, trying to make your own things, a bit of DIY, not a totally bad idea. So, Krita, let's do Krita. Okay, I said we are going to stick to just a few of these tools. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is go to what looks like a little um, document with the currently turned up corner and create a new document by clicking. I've got a 500 by 500 pixel image document. I am going to create, I think everything's pretty much default apart from maybe the size. I say it's given me 500 by 500 because that's what I was working on before. Now, can we do a quick look at the layers here? We're not going to get into a state of confusion trying to understand all this stuff or too many things at the same time. At the moment, we've got two layers. The bottom layer is called background, which is that white sheet of digital paper, if you like, which will end up being removed. We're going to keep it there because it helps us see the colours that we're putting on the page, the digital page, but it will end up being removed so that we'll be seeing only the colours, the shapes that we put on our paint layers. We may end up with many of these paint layers, but the paint layers, I'll just shut off the background, they have this checkered effect, and that means they are transparent. So whatever I paint on here will show up and can be saved, downloaded and uploaded into our LMS. So if I make a circular badge or rosette-shaped badge, a diamond-shaped badge, that's how we will have them. That will be the shape that they'll be because the background will be transparent. If we do not deactivate the background, we will end up with this white square always on our underneath our badge. We don't want that, but we need it in this phase while we're creating. Okay, we've got a background layer and we've got a transparent paint layer, number one. We will add other layers as we go along, as we add different types of colours and shapes. But like I said, I promise, we're going to keep this simple. First thing to do is look for the dotted circle. Now, the proper name for that is elliptical selection tool, or as I like to call it, the dotted circle. Click it, and then click and drag across our page. Try and fill it up and make it nice and fat. Nice fat circle. That looks about right. It's not slap bang in the center of the circle. There's probably a way of doing that, of centering it in Krita. I know how to do that in GIMP. I don't know how to do it in Krita. That's confession time. It doesn't matter. There's a way around it. Once we've created our selected circle, we're going to go up here to these two tiny little coloured boxes. In my case, one is lilac, one is black. And click the top one and choose your background colour. Now let's have something dark for the centre. Let's have brown, no, rusty coloured. Oh, okay, it's a dark plum colour. Okay, so I click OK, and then I go look for the little tool which looks like a paint pot being tipped over, and it's called the Fill tool. Click it, and click over your circle, and your circle fills up. Okay, so the circle is in our white square, but it's off center. We need to try and center it a bit more. So we're going to use this little cross tool, which is useful for shifting our items about, graphic items about within our frame. I've put it central in this box. It's not super precise. It doesn't have to be for what we're doing. If you're doing something more serious, then yes, there's a way of doing it more precisely. We are not too fussed about super precision. It's kind of in the middle. We're happy with it. We're just going to go back to select and select all, just up at the top. Select all, and that allows us now to paint in a wider space. We're going to add on another layer. So click layer, new paint layer, layer, new paint layer. And if you see over here in our layer box, we now have above our lovely purple circle, plum coloured circle, we've got another transparent paint layer. And this is the part we're going to put this is the layer that we're going to put the sort of frilly rosette effect element in. So to do that, we're going to go back up here, choose a colour. So that was the colour we had before. Do we want a softer pink? Or do we want a completely contrasting colour? What contrast with plum? Let's go for quite a what colour is that? A kind of dusty pale pink. Okay, and now we're going to go and choose a brush. So we click on this little thing that looks like a freehand brush tool. And over here, we've got brush paint presets. We actually select the exact type of brush we fancy. Now, these are all the paint brushes, but they're also ink brushes. There are also digital brushes. There are textures, all sorts of stuff here. So it's just a question of experimenting. So I'm going to go for one of these drier brushes. I'm going to try something. I'm going to go for this dryish brush here, and I'm going to see that's the paint effect. I'm going to see what that looks like. So we've got this pale pink. We've got our brush chosen with the sort of dry brush effect. I'm going to click this multi-brush tool, which looks like spokes of a bike. And I'm simply going to, and I'm on this, just double check the second paint layer. So I'm just going to place the brush vaguely over the edge of my circle, and click down, hold, and drag. See what happened? There is one of our effects. Do I like that one? Not an awful. I'm going to undo it with this arrow up here. I'm going to try another, just pulling from a different angle. Oh, don't mind that too much. It's okay. I'm just going to undo it. I'm going to get really adventurous here. Try all sorts of different things. Let's see what happens with this one. It's mystery. I'm not sure what it is. It looks like a little trowel. I'm just going to place it over, click, left click and hold down and drag my mouse, and I'm just dragging it in different directions. Yeah, kind of, not too bad. I'm undoing it again because I'm in an experimental frame of mind. What would that be? I have no idea. Just going to try it. Oh, no. That, no. So some of them do not work out. Do I have to state that openly? It's pretty clear that some of them just do not work. Basic details, digital sketch pen. Let me just try this one. A tiny wee one. But even if I just sort of drag it, it's not that bad. It's not that awful. Still, I think I prefer a bigger brush. I think I'm going to go to ink. Let's choose an ink preset. The fine liner. I'm going to make it big. I'm going to increase the size to 100. Oh no, that's a bit too much. To 74 and something pixels. I get see that's how we get one kind of rosette effect. That's I barely touched so I left click and drag the mouse and it just went wild. I'm just going to undo it, do something a little bit smaller and click a little less. Okay, that's okay. So that's a bit of a rosette effect. Can we go back to the colour? Can we make it even lighter? Let's make it even lighter. Let's drag this little circle towards the white. Okay, and let's do that again. Just put the brush, left click and pull. Okay, that's sweet. That's okay, that's not too bad at all. Do we hate this? I don't hate this. I'm going to actually leave it. I leave my design like that, not adding in anything else. I'm going to click the text tool, and in the middle, I'm going to write, exchange the placeholder text for, maybe it says, let's imagine it's a skill-based reading. It's a skill-based badge. Our students or learners have passed some sort of reading level. Let's see how 48. Save and close. Is that too big? It's a wee bitty too big. But it won't because the font size has been selected. It's not going to. I can't increase it or decrease it unless I hit this little kind of. It looks like a picture frame icon. It's transforming layers, so I can just. I now get the option to resize to something fits better. That's quite handy because I can stretch it this way and that and get it absolutely exactly how I like it. I don't mind that. I do not mind that. I'm thinking this is kind of okay. That would do for me. I would be quite happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is go back to my layers here and see the little eye icon here on the left hand side. On my background layer, which is this one, I'm going to hide my white background. And now if I go to File and Export, I can, I'm going to opt for a PNG because a PNG format allows me to save transparent layers. So that will not show up as a checkered background effect. It will be utterly transparent and I'll be able to upload it on my Moodle or other LMS badge page, and it will be quite simply this rosette shape with no other interference. If I don't hide the background, I will end up with this white square in the background, which I might not want. I might prefer not to have. So that's basically it. So you can see that is not horrific. Again, not a masterpiece, but not that bad either. And the freedom that we have when you're able to make your own is priceless. So you might want to give this a go. I really hope this has been useful to you, and all the best creating. Bye.